We're here in my backyard in Florida, and as you can see, it's good to have a covered porch today. It's raining. But John, you're probably used to that, aren't you?
Well, you know, I not only brought some wine from Washington, I think I brought this. Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay. We're used to it. It's summertime.
Yeah.
But it's a great time to do Cedar-Plank grilling. And, you know, we've got some great king salmon from your part of the country up in, Alaska. And we've got some Arctic char from Iceland.
Yeah, and this we don't see out in the west that much, but this is a delicious fish.
Still a salmon that swims in a river, and it's great.
Gorgeous stuff. And you know, the cedar planks, we do this in the Northwest too. This is not the kind of plank you pull off the side of your house. I mean, this is a clean, untreated piece of wood.
It's a nice piece of cedar that's untreated, and you have to soak it. You know, it's a big part of the recipe is soaking it so that it steams up into the fish. Otherwise, it'll just burn up on the grill. So let's get started here.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna make the chorizo herb breadcrumb topping. It's just we've already roasted the chorizo and chopped it. Some panko breadcrumbs, some parsley, and some lemon zest to lighten it up.
That's great. That's all you do, just mix it up. You don't have to add any oil or butter or anything to that.
There's a lot of oil in the chorizo, so it's as it starts to heat up on top of the fish, it's going to, you know, get those breadcrumbs nice and moist, and it's going to be just great.
Yeah. You know, you and I talked a little bit about different wines with food, and a lot of people like red wines, but they're wondering how they can match that up with seafood. And I think with salmon, you know, you've got that rich, nice fattiness of it, but especially this recipe because you got the chorizo going on. And I brought some Pinot Noir, which I think would be a great match for this dish, too.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, the whole white wine, red wine thing, I don't think applies when you have a hearty dish like this with the cedar plank and all those flavors and the chorizo sausage. That's a perfect wine for this.
Yeah, it's always, I think it's easier when you're matching food and wine, too, just like you're saying. The bigger flavors of the food goes with bigger flavors of wine, so you can get by with red wine. Even a fruity Merlot would work with that, too.
Absolutely.
Man,
so I'm going to put some lids on those because what you want it to do is it's not going to cook all the way through unless you create an oven. So you have to use some type of lid. I happen to have a couple of fancy ones here from the restaurants, but at home anything would apply, any type of lid.
Oh, or if you had like a kettle barbecue with a lid on it. And you
just put that on. Yeah, like a Weber grill would work.
Now, how long would that be sitting on here roughly to get that cooked through?
About 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the thickness of the fish. But you don't want to overcook salmon.
Right.
You know, medium, about 130, 140 degrees is it.
You know, and if you get used to using a temp, you know, in the old days, I always thought that was kind of a silly thing to do. You know, you could touch it and feel, but I really, you temp
the thermometers work. And they're instant, they're easy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So we mentioned about the Pinot Noir, and then you've got a couple sauce, or a sauce that's going to go with us, or side dish?
We have a couple sauces. They had some great Northwest cream corn that we're going to do.
Perfect.
Some fresh summer corn. We got some Northwest wild mushrooms and some chives. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Doesn't that smell great?
Oh, yeah, and that cedar imparts that flavor to the fish, and that's also one of the reasons it works so well with red wine. You need to get that kind of thing going on.
Here's the corn I was talking about. I mean, look at that fresh summer corn with wild mushrooms. We have some applewood bacon, some cream, salt and pepper, and then you know, to finish it off, just some nice chives.
You know, I love chives. People think it's more of a garnish, but chives gives a really nice flavor to dishes.
Oh, it's a really light onion flavor.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Wonderful. Look at that.
You know, Tim, that corn side dish is going to be great with that fish, I think. You know, and you were going to do a sauce with it too for the king salmon.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a mango macadamia nut sauce. It's going to be wonderful. It's a little bit sweet. It's going to cut through that salmon a little bit. It's going to be great.
You know, it might work with Riesling now that I think about it. That sauce with the Riesling and the salmon. So it could have more than 2 more. Whoa, look at this, and it shows how perfectly done that is.
That's all those natural oils coming up out of that salmon. That's just beautiful.
When you're cooking king salmon, when you start to see that happen, it's done.
So we're going to just put that right over the plank, and we'll serve these planks right on the table to our friends just like this. They can pick the salmon right off the plank.
Oh, that's great.
It's kind of fun. Kind of like a shrimp boil or something, you know? You don't have to be too fancy.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to dig into these two dishes. Well, now you know we're going to have to try both the wines and see which one works the best.
Well, our friends are hungry over there, and they're waiting. We better get it over to them.
And get the wine, too, for them.
Look what we have here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We have some Arctic char and some wild king salmon from Alaska. It's going to be great.
Beautiful. Well, Tim, thanks for inviting me down. This is wonderful. I can't wait to dig into this
Thanks for bringing the great wine.
You bet.
Cheers.